Welcome to Pen and Gadget. This is the Majohn Q1, or Moon Man, because, you know, some of them out there are still named Moon Man. Oh boy, where do we start with this guy? So it's a pocket pen. It's a chubby. This thing, it's a pocket pen, but it's a little fatty. I think if they called it the Chunky Monkey, that would be aptly named. Let's see how big it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, and about a half. So it's about 4.5 inches. I gotta tell you, this combination. Now, before we start, this, you can't buy the pen like this. I happen to like this pen so much that I bought 2 of them. And I bought this colored one. Actually, here, we'll get it out here. So there we go. So I bought this one. So I swapped the body and caps and made this creation, which I believe is the perfect way to do a Q1. Just look at that. First of all, this is my favorite ink here. This is Pelikan 4001 turquoise. And it's just such a lovely, lovely flowing ink. And I always keep this inked up. I gotta be honest here. This pen, okay. This nib. Let's get in here. Hold on, wait a second. Let's get in here. This nib, which as you can see has got some red on it, because this pen was inked with red ink. Anyway, this nib, Moon Man Extra Fine. This nib was not on this body, it was on that one. How do I go through this? There was a thing that happened. There was another pen that didn't have such a great nib out of the box. And the Moon Man nib, the Majohn nib that was on this pen was so good. It was my favorite writing and drawing pen. Like, for the price, come on. Like, and I own some nice pens, you know. I've got some more expensive pens in my collection, but out of all of them, this cheap $20 pen, like, it really is that good. Now, I don't know if they're all that good. I gotta say that. Like, I might have gotten lucky, and this just happened to be a phenomenal writing instrument right out of the box. Maybe someone was just like happy at the factory that day and took that extra minute to work on the nib where others did not. But I got a phenomenal nib, and I put it in the more expensive pen that didn't have such a great nib. So I swapped nibs. So this one usually comes in a all stainless steel. This is the 2-tone. It's still steel, but yeah, this is the 2-tone coloration. But you know, it's such a beautiful writing instrument. I like this cap. However, it's missing a trick. Now, for those of you who own this pen, if you haven't figured this out yet, there's a built-in loop feature. If you turn the cap pointing at you, this point here, and you hold it up, it's a loop. How cool is that? Like, look, you can see there's the tip. You can actually use this as a functioning loop. I actually have used it as a loop when I was working on another pen, because I happen to like the way this one didn't need light. It gathers light in a very nice way. So where a lot of loops have these little LED lights on them, and they kind of shine, but the metal reflects it back into your eye and it's too bright. And then when you're using a lamp, sometimes you're covering over it and it's too dark. This actually works really well as a loop to work on a nib. And yeah, so that's a hidden feature of the pen cap on the clear model. And I kind of wish, and maybe, no, I don't think it would look right, but maybe, I know this part is not supposed to, but can come off because it's threaded, you can see. I wonder with like enough force if I could get that off and put it on here. No, then it'd be like a clear sandwich. I think I've lost my marbles. But anywho, yeah, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of Moonmen / Majohn pens, this is in particular a really great pen for the money. I really don't think it could be beat. Now let's talk about how the innards here. It's eyedropper, which obviously you could tell, or you can use Asian international short cartridges that will also go in here. But if you're gonna buy the clear, you have to eyedropper this thing, because whatever color ink you have, almost even black would look cool. It makes the pen. I believe it really does. So I've opted to keep this in my favorite color, blue, because that's just how I like it inked up. These, you could get a couple of different color combinations. I will say that on average, when they arrive, they come in a little case. Let's see. I have this case here, actually. Come in a little box here. They come like this, and they have the eyedropper. It comes with the eyedropper, which is, that's nice. So yeah, comes in with the eyedropper. And I actually use this to keep the pen in. I in my drawer, I actually just keep it just like that with the eyedropper. I dry out the eyedropper first, and then I put it in there. But yeah, the box is actually useful. And you could take this foam thing out if you want to. And if you've got a bunch of Majohn pens, they come in similar boxes like this with the cutouts. You can put them in a case or something, and they'll all have individual cutout foam. It'll be nice and fancy. Anywho, I'm rambling on here. These pens, for the money, and I say this a lot, but it's true. That's why I own this pen. I own obviously 2 of them. I liked it enough to buy 2 of them. You can't get much better at this price range. And this is true of a lot of Majohn pens. Some of these pens, right out of the box, oh my, they really, for the price, do a great job on a consistent nib in terms of feel and writing. Now, across the board, I don't own a lot of Majohn, but I know the ones that I do own, they are excellent. You can find them on eBay. You can find them on Amazon and AliExpress. I tend to do the Amazon if I can, and I waited a long time. This particular brown version, I waited a while to get it because I think they ship it from China for some of the special colors. So I waited a while for this to actually show up. And then, I was like, okay, it's not so bad. And then I thought, oh, what if I swap these? Anyway, this is a fun pen to own. I don't think I would want to pocket this pen for a few reasons. One, it's the Chunky Monkey. It's the Majohn Chunky Monkey. This is not a skinny pen. Now, it is small, obviously, but it's thick. And for some people, they might not like how it feels in the hand. Now, I'm going to go through a couple of things here. Posting this pen, there's a little bit of an issue. Now, if you watch the channel, if you're subscribed to the channel, you will know that I actually tend to draw, even with my pocket pens, unposted. I'm just one of those weirdos and one of those freaks. However, if you try to post this guy, okay, and you do some writing, after a while, when you're gripping the section here, there's this natural pressure that's put in this pocket of your hand, and eventually, oh, there it goes. It just did it. The cap releases. It pops off. And the reason why is because this is a smooth surface, and in here it's a completely smooth surface as well. There's no retention, anything. So it's resin on resin, and put it this way. I could probably push this on really hard and like force it on, but then you're destroying, this beautiful crystal clear resin, and you end up ruining the look of your pen. Now, some people don't care. Some people are fine with that, and they're like, okay, no, it's my pen. It'll get worn, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But if you want to keep the look of your pen pristine, I don't think this thing is going to post very well. I think you're going to have to push down really hard to not have it pop off. And in doing so, you will start to mark this pen up. For me, it's not really an issue because, again, this chunky pen, I kind of write with it and draw with it, mostly draw. Using it like this, like in the pocket of the pen, of the hand, and it works for me because it's also thick. Your entire, like your grippers, your grippers tend to wrap around. This is a thick section. This section, first of all, the pen thickness, let's see here, I can line it up. It's about 0.8 of an inch thick, and the section, this is a thick section. Now it does taper off near the beginning of it. However, I grip in the middle, and the rest of your fingers are landing here. So yeah, it's just a chunky feeling pen in your hand, but in a nice way, not in a, oh God, this is gonna be difficult to write with. I think it's satisfying. I think this works well as a writing instrument. This is not one of those things that it's pretty to look at and then you don't want to write with it. I feel like it's fine, but again, your mileage may vary. I have medium to large hands, but my fingers, I play the piano, so I've got a decent sized hand, and so for me, it's not that difficult to write unposted. But yes, if you're going to buy, especially the clear model, I would say posting the cap, unless you're really going to jam it onto the end, it's going to pop off. And I think the first time I did it with the brown one, because I wasn't so worried about, marring up this one, it still popped off after a while. I think it just all of a sudden went, and that was it. It was gone. So that's one of the caveats. Also, this is not like a pocket pen that I would actually put in my pocket and walk around with, because I know it's going to get all marred up. Like maybe this is, well, here, okay, so now we're getting into the use case of this pen. What is the use case of this pen? Because you could put this in a jacket pocket sleeve, but then look at this thing. It's like almost, 2 pens, 3 pens stacked up thickness wise. So you don't want to put this in a breast pocket, because then you've got this bulge, like just there. And you don't want to put it in your regular pants pocket for same reasons, but also it's just, unless there's nothing else in that pocket and it's pristine and cotton lined pocket, it's going to get marked up. And I don't think this is the kind of pen that you want marked up. Now, can you do that? Sure. Do whatever you want. It's your pen. But for me, this sits in its holder to take out and enjoy writing. This is a desk pen, and that's how I use it, and that's how I keep it. I keep it as a desk pen. It stays on the desk. When I want to work with it, I take it out and I use it. But otherwise, this Q1, again, lovely nib. I can't stress this enough. This thing writes really well. And since I have 2 of them, I could at least say that, yeah, the other one wrote pretty well also. And so it wasn't just like a fluke of that one, because this one came all the way from China and this one was already in the US. So I don't know the difference in time manufacturing, but I'm sure that this one was newer and this one was older. However, they both showed up with almost the identical nib, other than the two-tone versus the all steel. Anywho, This has been the Majohn Q1 overview, review, whatever you want to call it. Get one of these if you want a little bit of a very, very affordable desk queen, and get two of them if you want to match up, caps with bodies, and you can create something like this. Yeah, I gotta say, that nib, we're gonna go one more time. That Moonman nib, extra fine, it writes so effortlessly. It's just like just a little bit of effort, and it just glides. Just the right amount of wetness. I gotta tell you, they tune them pretty well, and again, there's gonna be duds out there, I'm sure. This is not a high quality control item, but I think on average the Moonman / Majohn nibs are pretty decent. Again, for their price, I'm always saying that, but it's true. For their price, I don't really think that they can be beat. Anywho, now I'm done rambling on. This has been Pen and Gadget. Sayonara.